How are you, everybody? In this part, we are going to deal with reported speech. What is reported speech and when is it used? Rules to change sentences from the direct speech into indirect speech. Reporting different types of sentences. What is reported speech and when we use reported speech? Reported speech is used to express what others have said. It's also useful when you are writing a paper to summarize what different author has said. In spoken discourse, there are certain rules to follow. For example, "You are the most beautiful girl I have ever seen." What did he say? He said that you were the most beautiful girl he had ever seen. We have already changed pronouns and also the tense of the sentence from present into past. We change pronouns or personal pronouns. For example, "I want to go home." He said that he wanted to go home, or she said that she wanted to go home. "You need to study." She told me I needed to study. Another example, "We want some fruit." He said that they wanted some fruit. We change the tense from direct speech into indirect speech, from present simple into past simple. So in direct speech, we change present simple into past simple, present continuous into past continuous, present perfect into past perfect, past simple into past perfect, or stay as it is, past simple. In the future, we change will into would, plus bare infinitive, plus the base form of the verb. Can to could, shall to should, must to had to. There are some words and phrases that is changed from direct speech into indirect speech. For example, this evening into that evening, today or this day into that day, these into those, now changed into then, a week ago, a week before, last week, the previous week or the week before, like yesterday, the previous day or the day before, here into there, next week, the following week, tomorrow, the next or the following day. The second type of reported sentences or sentences in the reported speech is command. Direct speech, Peter said to Tom, "Do your work." In the reported speech, Peter told Tom to do his work. So, we use to do, or to plus bare infinitive. If we use don't or the negative form, Peter said to Tom, "Don't make noise." Peter told Tom not to make noise. So we use not to instead of to if the sentence is in negative form. The third type of sentences is question. We have two types of questions: yes/no questions and WH question, question with question word. In direct speech, for example, Peter, "Do you play football?" In the reported speech, Peter asked me whether or if I played football. The second question, Peter, "When do you play football?" Peter asked me when I played football. I used the same question word to be written in the reported speech as a linking word. Another example, Peter, "I worked in the garden yesterday." It's a statement. I change it into, Peter said that he had worked in the garden the day before. so I changed worked into had worked, from the past simple into past perfect, and I have changed the word yesterday into the day before. Another example, my teacher will go to Revisson tomorrow. Emily said that her teacher will go to Revisson the next day or the following day.
Reported Speech Statements Part 1 from EspressoEnglish.net. Reported speech is when we talk about what someone else said in the past. For example, if your friend Diana said, "I've been to London 3 times," the reported speech is, Diana said she'd been to London 3 times. We often use reported speech when talking about a conversation that happened in the past, but there are some changes to the verb tenses in reported speech. Verbs in the simple present become verbs in the simple past. Direct, I want to go home. Reported, she said she wanted to go home. Present continuous verbs become past continuous. Direct, I'm reading a good book. Reported, he said he was reading a good book. Simple past verbs become past perfect. Direct, I ate pasta for dinner. Reported, she said she'd eaten pasta for dinner. Present perfect verbs become past perfect. Direct, I've already finished the report. Reported, she said she'd already finished the report. Here's another example of present perfect to past perfect. Direct, we've never been to Japan. Reported, they said they'd never been to Japan. Statements with can and can't become could and couldn't when they are reported speech. Direct, I can meet with you on Monday. Reported, she said she could meet with me on Monday. Direct, I can't talk now, I'm at work. Reported, she said she couldn't talk at the moment because she was at work. Statements with will and won't become would and wouldn't. Direct, I'll call you later. Reported, she said she'd call me later. Direct, I won't forget to go to the bank. Reported, he said he wouldn't forget to go to the bank. In Part 2 of this lesson, we'll learn reported requests, orders, and questions. Thanks for watching English Tips from EspressoEnglish.net. If you liked this video, please share it. Reported speech, requests, orders, and questions from EspressoEnglish.net. Reported speech is talking about what someone said in the past. In Part 1 of this lesson, we studied reported statements. Now we'll learn reported requests, orders, and questions. For reported requests, use the structure asked, me, him, her, us, or them, to. For example, direct, please make some copies. Reported, she asked me to make some copies. Direct, please close the door. Reported, he asked us to close the door. In the case of reported requests, the main verb does not change. It is close in the direct statement and close in the reported statement. For reported orders or commands, use the structure told, me, him, her, us, or them, to. For example, Direct. Go to the bank. Reported. He told me to go to the bank. Direct. Don't eat the cake. Reported. She told them not to eat the cake. Again, in reported orders, the main verb does not change its form from the direct to the reported statement. Reported questions, yes or no questions. In this case, use asked if or wanted to know if in the reported question. Direct. Are you coming to the party? Reported. He asked if I was coming to the party. Direct. Has John arrived yet? Reported. She wanted to know if John had arrived yet. In reported yes or no questions, we don't use the auxiliary verbs do, does, or did. For example, direct. Do you like tomatoes? Reported. She asked if I like tomatoes. Or, she asked if I liked tomatoes. Direct. Did you have a nice trip? In the reported question, we don't use the auxiliary verb did. They wanted to know if I had a nice trip. To report other questions that are not yes or no questions, we use asked and wanted to know with no auxiliary verbs do, does, or did. For example, direct. What time do you start work? Reported. He asked what time I start work. There is no auxiliary verb do in the reported question. Direct. Where did Sarah buy her car? Reported. He wanted to know where Sarah had bought her car. Again, there is no auxiliary verb did in the reported question. In reported questions with the verb be, the word order changes. For example, direct. Where is she from? Reported. He asked where she was from. You can see the word order changes. Is she becomes she was in the reported question. Here's another example. Direct. How are you feeling? Reported. She wanted to know how I was feeling. The word order changes from the direct to the reported question. Thanks for watching English Tips from EspressoEnglish.net. If you liked this video, please share it.